Drake is officially the global ambassador, or the Toronto Raptors, whatever that means. Nobody has a real definition. However, this ambassador started a war of words with the king of the glare, Cleveland's Kendrick Perkins, something that started at half of Game 1 between the Cavaliers and Raptors on Tuesday. Then it continued after the Raptors' crushing loss. Drake sits courtside in Toronto and paces the sidelines, yelling at players more than half the coaches in the league. He's been given a lot of free rein as whatever an ambassador does, but after this latest incident, both the league and Raptors had a word with Drake about it, reports the USA Today. The NBA has warned Drake after the rapper's verbal confrontations Tuesday night with Kendrick Perkins, a backup center for the Cleveland Cavaliers, during Game 1 of the Cavaliers' playoff series against the Toronto Raptors, a league official told USA Today Sports on Thursday. The Raptors, who have named Drake a global ambassador for the team, also discussed the matter with Drake, according to the official, who requested anonymity because of the nature of the matter. No fines or anything. How much money do you have to fine Drake before he notices? But he'll listen to this. We'll see how Drake responds in Game 2, but that's not as interesting as how his Raptors respond. If this Raptors team truly is different from past years, they've got to show it now. No Knicks coaching hire has been met with widespread skepticism since Mike D'Antoni. Mike Woodson received, perhaps reluctant but nonetheless existent, support after turning around a losing season and guiding the Knicks to the playoffs as D'Antoni's interim replacement. Everyone was so enchanted with Phil Jackson running the front office. Derek Fisher was welcomed as Jackson's hand-picked choice. In a shift in mood, people appreciated Jackson going outside his comfort zone with Jeff Hornacek, and that Hornacek wasn't David Fizdale. The trend has only continued with David Fizdale, whom the Knicks will reportedly hire. This is not unique to New York. Nearly every coaching hire is viewed optimistically. But the sentiment is particularly misplaced there. The Knicks' problems are far bigger than any coach can fix. They start with owner Jim Dolan and trickle down through the organization he assembled. Unless President Steve Mills and General Manager Scott Perry build a far better roster, and sustain it without Dolan wrongly pushing for or blocking a trade, Fizdale has no chance. It doesn't matter whether he's a good coach or not. Of the Knicks' 7 non-interim coaches since Jeff Van Gundy, who also coached elsewhere, all but one, Mike Woodson, had a better record on other jobs. Coach years Knicks elsewhere: David Fizdale 2018. 50%, Jeff Hornacek 2016-18, 37%, 47%, Derek Fisher 2014-16, 29% by Mike Woodson, 2012-14, 58%, 42%, Mike D'Antoni 2008-12, 42%, 60%, Isaiah Thomas 2006-08, 34%, 53%, Larry Brown 2005-06, 28%, 56%, Lenny Wilkens 2004-05, 49%, 54%, Don Chaney 2001-04, 39%, 41%. These aren't all bad coaches. The challenge in New York was just too much for them. Mills and Perry deserve a chance to fix this roster. At least Perry does. Mills, Jackson's predecessor and successor, already had one. But there's no choice now but to let him take his second try. They have a great start in Kristaps Porzingis, though he's injured. But will take patience and skill to dig out of the rest of Jackson's mess. Coaches still have culpability in this, and Fizdale looks like a good choice. His energy could help give the Knicks the wake-up call they badly need. But he can't do it alone, and unless the Knicks get their act together from the top down, Fizdale won't have a chance. The Raptors, after revamping their offense to be more effective in the playoffs, after winning a franchise record in Eastern Conference Best 59 games, after declaring this season championship or bust, have fallen behind 2-0 to the Cavaliers in their second-round series, with both losses in Toronto. Raptors coach Dwayne Casey: one thing you have is pride. One thing you have is pride to go into Cleveland and play for pride. I don't know what the history of down 0-2 is, but one thing I do know: tonight wasn't us, how we normally play for longer periods of time. Playing for pride, that sounds like how a defeated team talks. How about playing to win? That might be a tough sell, considering, despite Casey's insistence otherwise, this is exactly how Toronto plays against the Cavs in the playoffs. The Raptors lost the most lopsided 6-game series in NBA history to Cleveland 2 years ago, then got swept by the Cavaliers last year. Teams that have started a best-of-7 series with 2 home losses have won the series just 16% of the time. That's far higher than the typical guess. The Raptors are still in this, but only if they believe they can win. Back during the 2010-11 season, Dwayne Casey was an assistant coach in Dallas, the guy Rick Carlisle entrusted to oversee his defense. That was not exactly a lockdown defensive team, but they were good, 7th in the NBA for the season, and when it got to the postseason, Casey drew up smart game plans. Those plans helped get the Mavericks past the Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals to win Dallas' first, and so far, only, NBA title. After winning the ring, Casey was hired by the Toronto Raptors as their new head coach. After LeBron James torched Casey's Raptors in Game 2 with 43 points and 14 assists, he credited Casey and that Mavs team for forcing his game to another level. For Josh Lewenberg of TSN, LeBron on 2011 Finals loss to Mavs, "I wasn't that good of a player in that series. I wasn't a complete player." He credited Dwayne Casey for designing the defensive game plan that took him out of his comfort zone. "He's part of the reason I am the player I am today." Josh Lewenberg, at Jalou1050, May 4, 2018. High praise. That probably doesn't make Casey feel any better right now, however. For the record, LeBron averaged 17.8 points per game with an above-average 54.1 true shooting percentage in the 2011 NBA Finals. Good numbers, but 9 points per game, fewer than he averaged during the regular season, and he was not as efficient in those finals. Give Sean Marion some credit for his defense in that series. He was often matched up on LeBron, but the plan was to double LeBron quickly, pack the paint on his drives with Tyson Chandler protecting the rim, and single-cover Dwayne Wade and dare Miami to make him the primary scorer. Plus, Dallas played more zone in that series than the Heat had seen previously. LeBron and the Cavaliers are now up 2-0 on Casey's Raptors after LeBron led third-quarter charge Thursday with 15 points and 6 assists in the frame. He shot 9 of 12 at the rim for the game and 9 of 13 from the mid-range. He was indefensible, and part of the reason for that apparently falls to the Raptors coach. Thursday morning, Jaylen Brown was listed as doubtful for Game 2, still slowed by a hamstring injury. By Thursday night he was in uniform, scoring 13 points on 5 of 12 shooting and being part of the key Celtics run at the end of the first half that turned a blowout into a game again. What changed? Brown admitted he ignored the doctors, via Raul Martinez of NBC 10 in Boston. "It's a little surprising the Celtics let him play. This is an organization that has taken the long view all season when it comes to injuries. Hamstrings are easy to re-aggravate and Boston doesn't want Brown to lose part of his off-season work to chase playoff wins now. Boston did that with Isaiah Thomas last year and it didn't work out for the player. However, the injury was at a place Brown got to have his say. It couldn't have worked out much better for Boston.